I'd like to go over the concept of budget constraints and how it applies to the individual. My name is Roberta Perez, and this is for Economics Global, ECP 3704, for spring 2016 term. What do budget constraints mean to me? Well, this determines what you purchase and what you do not purchase. It is also the relationship between your income and your spending power, and it's a basic example of how a consumer has a specific amount of money and is able to choose between two goods, such as good A or good B. So what are our choices? When we have an income, we have a choice of whether we can buy only good A, if we choose to only buy good B, or we can buy a combination of good A and B according to our preferences and our particular needs. The slope of the budget line will then show the maximum number of goods and services that can be purchased given our specific budget at specific prices for those goods. As shown on the graph below, the budget line separates what is affordable versus what is not affordable. The budget line, as you can see, is marked out in red, and it lays in between the two of what's not affordable and what is affordable goods, and what our income can then expend. So now let's break it down for the real world. The budget constraint describes all the combinations of goods and services that a consumer can afford. However, in reality, there are many other choices besides just two, and for this example and in most economics classes, we will limit the discussion down to two. So let's suppose the price of soda is $5, while the price of chips is $4, and we have $20 available to spend in total. The amount we spend on soda can be written as 3S, with S as the number of sodas consumed, and the amount we spend on chips can be written as 4C, where C is the quantity of chips consumed. Therefore, the budget constraint is derived from the fact that the combined spending on soda and chips cannot exceed our available income. The budget constraint is then the set of combinations of chips and sodas that we can yield in an overall spend of all of our available income of $20. How do we graph the budget constraint? First, we need to determine where each point hits the axis first. So we must now consider how much of each good can be consumed if all available income was spent on that particular good. For example, if all of a consumer's income is spent on soda and none on chips, the consumer can buy 20 over 5, which is 4 sodas. And this is represented by the point on the graph at 0,4 on the left side. If all the consumer's income is then spent on chips and none on sodas, the consumer can buy 20 over 4 or 5 bags of chips. This is represented by the point on the graph at 5,0 at the bottom. Because the equation for the budget constraint defines a straight line, the budget constraint can be drawn by just connecting the dots where we plotted them at this step. Since the slope of the line is shown by a change in good y divided by the change in good x, the slope of this line is -4,5. The slope shows that 4 sodas must be given up in order to afford 5 more bags of chips. Because the budget constraint represents all the points where the consumer is spending all their income, it can also show if they're not spending all their income as well as if they're overspending their income. As you can see on the graph in the arrows that are marking all income not being spent and can't afford or unaffordable. I hope this quick video allowed you to have a little bit better insight as to a real-world example of the budget constraint, as well as how to graph it out. And thank you for watching. I hope you all have a great day.